Well, good morning. How are you all today? And welcome to American Reversion. I'm Steve Smith. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? And there's a lot of people covering everything, but I want to cover a couple of things and let you know about a couple of things that you may not be aware of, and they're important. I've talked about the importance in engaging other people, and that our fight to get our country back is for that middle ground, that middle section of people who the political fight is always for. The conservatives are always going to vote conservative. The liberals are always going to vote liberal. But the fight is always in the middle, those undecided, those who can't make up their mind. And it's sad that our country is run by those who can't make up their mind, who don't have the moral foundation to make good decisions. But regardless, that's the truth of the matter, and we have to engage those people. And so one of the things that I do here is give information that you may not be aware of, or maybe reinstall it, kind of reinforce it, and give you something that you can go out and share with some of your friends, some of your acquaintances, the people that you work with, anybody you run across who may not be aware of these things and who may wonder who they should vote for in the upcoming election. Now, make no mistake, this is one of the most, maybe probably the most important election in modern, since the 1860s. In our country, and if it goes the wrong way, this country is probably over forever. If it goes the right way, we have a chance. We have a chance, and we have to fight for that chance. Oh, by the way, these things are flying off. Do you have your "Make America Great Again" mug? This is my special design. It's a beautiful cup. I haven't really pushed these. But we are just being swamped with orders for this. You can get this if you'd like on the Stonemont website, stonemont.us. Excuse me. So if you haven't heard, Representative Andy Ogles, is it Ogles or Ogles? I don't know. You guys from Tennessee will know. Ogles. What an unfortunate name, right? He has introduced articles of impeachment against Vice President Harris Tuesday over her role in immigration law and for allegedly misleading the public on President Joe Biden's condition. Okay, here's the important thing. Is this going to go anywhere? Well, it may. She may be impeached in the House. If they can get enough of the Republicans, and the political war is heating up enough that they might get enough Republicans to be able to pass and to impeach her. Now, realize that impeach doesn't mean to convict. It means that they have found there's enough evidence there in their mind to be able to take it to a trial. It's like an indictment, okay? And so if they're able to get that, she will be impeached. And then, of course, it goes to the Senate for trial, and they won't do anything with it. So this is not necessarily going to result in anything, any removal of her or anything like that, but it will impeach her. Okay. So the thing is, even if they don't get to that point, this is something that you can use to share with those people that you know who can't quite seem to understand the difference between good and bad, right and wrong, and to help them to arrive at the proper decision. Another way you can do that is to send them to share these videos that we put out here on American Reversion. Share these with people, with as many people as you can. The more people we have out there who have access to the real information, the better it is for us. All we have to do is tell the truth. The other side lies all the time, and they do it with great energy, right? And it gets it out there. All our side has to do is tell the truth, but in too many cases, our side is just too timid to do it. And so I ask yourself, are you too timid to share the truth with other people, or are you ready to stand up? We talk about our founders having the courage to stand up when everything in their lives was on the line, their physical safety, the safety of their families. Many risked execution when they signed the Declaration. All of them did, actually. But too many people on our side who maintain that they are great patriots They won't even risk a relationship with somebody they hardly know. They won't risk having an argument with an acquaintance. Now, I want to say something here. I don't recommend jeopardizing family or close friend relationships. If you want to, good for you. But these things can drive wedges into families and between people who otherwise are good folks. They're just ignorant. So when you deal with those people, introduce these things gently, okay? Introduce them gently. But for everybody else, be willing to stand up with some fortitude and relay this information to them. Share this video, share the information that I included in this. So I'll go on. The 2 articles of impeachment, and this comes from, where is it? Let me get you the, this is from the Washington Examiner, and the article is by Jack Burrell, Birle. The 2 articles of impeachment obtained by the Washington Examiner come 2 days after Biden dropped his re-election bid and endorsed Harris to take his place at the top of the Democratic Party's ticket. The first article of impeachment is willful refusal to uphold the immigration laws and stems from her alleged inaction with border security and immigration law as the so-called border czar. The second article of impeachment, breach of public trust, alleges that Harris knowingly misled the public and Congress about the physical and cognitive well-being of Biden. Okay, kudos to Representative Ogle for bringing this up. I will post this on the Patreon channel, the Patreon of American Reversion, as I do, so that you all can see this, read the whole article yourself, and share it if you'd like. And by the way, I want to thank everybody who is supporting us by joining us on Patreon. It really helps. Only costs $1 a month. We have people giving more than that. I appreciate that. But that's really a way that you can support what we're doing here, and we appreciate that. Okay, so that's the first thing, and you can read more about that. Like I said, I'll put it up on the Patreon. The next thing here is something that I don't think many people are aware of, and this comes from the Free Beacon, and it starts out, let me see who wrote this. I'll give them, okay, Andrew Carr, Kerr, Kerr. I'll post this over there too on Patreon, but I'll give you the particulars. Kamala Harris still raising money for Freedom Fund that busts murderers and rapists out of jail. Now, share this with those people you know. Okay, the war right now is an information war. Use the information properly and get it out there. So it starts here. Vice President Kamala Harris is actively raising money for a bail fund that busts violent criminals from jail as her nascent presidential campaign signals her candidacy will lean heavily on her roots as a tough-on-crime former prosecutor. That's a good point there. As you talk to other people who may support her, they'll say, well, she was a prosecutor. She's going to be tough on crime. Throw this at them. See what they do with this. This is a curve they're not going to be able to hit. Harris urged her followers to donate to the Minnesota Freedom Fund in June 2020. This is back as Black Lives Matter rioters wreaked havoc in Minneapolis in the days following George Floyd's death. By the way, did you happen to see that Black Lives Matter has called the Democrat Party hypocrites, and they're calling for a virtual convention? So Black Lives Matter is going to cause some problems here. Interesting, just like they always have. Isn't it funny when you see your opponent or your enemies, however you prefer to see them, how you see them crumble and fragment and start fighting each other? Too often in the past, that's what conservatives have done. Now we're seeing the Democrats, and that has always been the Democrats' strength and the conservatives' weakness. The Democrats always stick together. Conservatives always fragment, wanting to fight each other over little incidentals. Well, now hopefully we're seeing the opposite. Okay, so back to the article. Harris's fundraising efforts helped the fund raise more than $41 million in 2020, but the group only used a small fraction of that, $210,000, to bail rioters out of jail. The remaining funds helped post bail for violent criminals such as Christopher Boswell, a twice-convicted rapist who was freed from jail in 2020, pending kidnapping and sexual assault charges after the Minnesota Freedom Fund paid $350,000 for his release. The last time we were down there, the clerk said, what clerk are they referring to? Doesn't say. The clerk said, we hate it when you bail out these sex offenders. That is what they said. Former Minnesota Freedom Fund interim executive director Greg Lewin told Fox 9. Okay, so obviously he was out there. Well, but apparently she is still pushing this. Okay. All right. I will put this up there and so that you can read it and share it. Okay. So we have a lot of interesting things ahead of us here. I'm sure that things are going to fluctuate wildly. It's going to go back and forth. It looks like probably, Trump said he predicted that Biden wasn't going to be the candidate. And apparently Biden says he's going to address the nation tonight. Wasn't that weird how that came about? Wasn't it weird that he announced that on Sunday on Twitter? That's one of those things. The announcement is that's an Oval Office situation, right? But we can see, as a result of this, and I thought it was funny that everybody was calling for proof of life. Now whether we actually saw proof of life by whatever that person was walking across looking like Biden, I don't know. Whatever you think, right? I'm no longer concerned with it, but now he's going to talk tonight, apparently, or somebody's going to talk tonight, saying that they're Biden and going to address the nation. What's going on behind the scenes would be fascinating to know. I mean, Obama still hasn't come out. We know he is. I mean, he is the peak of a politician. Obama understands how people think, how they feel. He's a great con man, and he's a good politician, just like Bill Clinton, but Obama's better. And he's withholding his endorsement from Harris. Isn't that interesting? There are still people saying that Harris is not going to be the top of the ticket or on the ticket at all. How that happens, it's hard to know. I mean, she's now earned enough delegates to be there, the Democrat choice. But what could happen? Alex Jones made a video on Saturday evening. I didn't put it up because I just, it's amazing how many things Jones is right about, right? But I'm always very careful and passing on things that Jones says, because, right? But he said Saturday night that he was getting information from a lot of people. He cited Roger Stone and a couple others, I think. I'm not going to put this one up, but this was on a Rumble video. And he said that the word he was getting is that Hillary Clinton was going to replace Biden at the convention, but Biden's out now. So is that still a possibility in the mix somewhere? Is she going to replace Harris, or is it? I don't know. This is like trying to see the bottom of a mud puddle, right? Don't know. You see the surface, but you don't know how deep the puddle is. You don't know what's going on around down in there. And about the best we can do is wait and find out. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to bring you today. I have another one coming up here in a little bit. And But remember that our part in the fight right now is to pass on information to represent our position as positively, as attractively, and that's important. You're never going to convince anybody by yelling at them. Okay, that drives them away. You have to present your position, our position, in a thoughtful, caring manner, and as a result, that's how we get that middle undecided on our side, and hopefully be able to make America great again. You want one of these? Go to the website, stonemont.us. You can have your very own. And remember that this country, America, needs, well, America's not a country, but the United States of America needs a reversion. It needs you to be a part of it. It might need more than a reversion, but we will see about that. It needs all of us to be a part of it. So take this information, spread it around, use it, share this video. We appreciate it. And if you'd like to join us on the Patreon channel, the link is down below. We appreciate that too. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.